Former President of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Girma Waldegurgis, who served from 2001 to 2013, has died at the age of 94. Oromia Bina the detail.
Girma Waldegurgis, whose long and successful life has been marked by an active development in civic venture and government services, including serving as President of Ethiopia from 2001 to 2013, has died at the age of 94. Girma was fluent speaker in Ethiopia's working language, Amharic, his native language Afan Oromo, as well as English and French language. In a political career that spanned more than 5 decades, the man fondly known as Lieutenant Girma has been fortunate enough to live through and witness many momentous and significant periods of the nation. Starting his career as head of civil aviation in Eritrea in 1955, he was appointed as Director General of Ethiopian Civil Aviation in 1958. He would assume the position of Director General of Ethiopia's Military of Trade Industry for 2 years and later elected as member of Chamber of Deputies of the Imperial Ethiopian Parliament. After the collapse of the imperial government and amid a nationalist revolt by the Eritreans, he became a member of Peace Commission created by the military government to address Eritrean land and sovereignty disputes. With the fall of the Derg, he was invited by the government for a meeting as to how the government was to be formed and the constitution could be formed. He crowned his long-time career by taking up the largely ceremonial post of president. Girma was 77 when he became president in 2001. His open manner and common-touch advocacy for environmental conservation made him one of the country's beloved politicians.
Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed has led discussion with Finland-based ambassadors of European countries yesterday. The ambassadors appreciated progressive steps taken over the past months in Ethiopia under the Prime Minister's premiership. They particularly commend on opening up of the political and media spaces and express their admiration regarding the role Ethiopia is playing to bring stability and integration in the region. Noting the positive changes taking shape, members of the European Union and the non-European Union members countries equally confirmed their sustained partnership with Ethiopia, according to the Office of the Prime Minister. A delegation of OBN media professionals led by Director General of the network, Mohamed Adamu, has visited the Somali regional television station as part of sharing experience. Olka Wandimu takes up the Dabalis report.
Ethiopian nations, nationalities and peoples has been living together with strong relationship and respect to one another. They have long-lived culture of tolerance and considered as one of the best example of diversified nation. Now the nation is experiencing an incident of conflicts and other unusual activities. The delegation led by Director General of the Oromia Broadcasting Network, Mohamed Adamu, has paid a visit to the Somali regional state TV station. The delegation has warmly received at Jijjiga International Airport. The visit is aimed at strengthening the long-standing culture of living together of the Oromo and Somali peoples. The delegation has paid a visit to the Somali regional state television station and shared best experiences. By the discussion held after the visit, Vice Head of Somali Television, Hodengula, said, by the efforts of both regional state leaders, now the relationship of two brotherly people has been strengthening more. Our people have been living together with love, peace and tolerance from the very beginning. Both Somali and the Oromo were the people who have common experience and live together more than anyone. I do not think that we as media professionals recharged our responsibility well. The bad culture of our politicians has been hurted our relationship. Now we have to open a new chapter to work on that way, she said. Director General of the Oromia Broadcasting Network, Mohamed Adamu, said both the Oromo and Somali people have no interest of war and disagreement. Both people have many things in common and no one can separate these people.
The media in Ethiopia as a whole has been used as a mouthpiece for those on power. And they used the media as a weapon to engender this tragic man-made conflict. Now we have opened a new chapter. I think the first thing we really have to realize as media professionals is that parties and political parties come and go. The people always remain the same. So what we need now is public institutions that endure just like the people. So we need to make our two sister TV organizations, two sister media organizations into public institutions that serve not those on power, but the public.
Head of the Somali Regional State Television Organization, Abdulrazak Adan, on this occasion said, "It is a great pleasure to welcome and host the delegation of OBN at Jijjiga," adding both Somali and the Oromo people have been living together and they have a lot together and call upon strong commitment.
I hope that OBN, our partners, will support us if there's a training, if there's experience here, and we will send a lot of people there to Oromia, as you will send here to Somalis. So even today, we will have a new chapter, we will have direct contact, we will have direct relations, we will face each other, we will ask each other, and the journey that began here will ever go on.
Head of Communication Affairs with Somali Regional State, Abdullahi Muhammad, for his part thanked the delegation for the visit. In conclusion, both TV stations have agreed to open a branch in both regional states and to work for the strong relationship and commitment than ever.
Vice President of Somali Regional State, Mustafa Omar, says Oromo and Somali have never been enemies. He said Somali and Oromia regional states have agreed to work together to ensure peace in border areas of the regions. Fikadu Brown takes up. Mohamed Adamos reports.
Briefing the media, Vice President of the Somali Regional State, Mustafa Omar, said that the Somali and Oromo people have never been enemies to each other.
Oromos and Somalis have never been enemies to each other, but once you start a war, there will be some level of animosity will develop because of the violence that took place. So we need to address that. We need to find solution to the victims. We need to do redress mechanisms between the communities and ultimately bring all of them together. That's our wish. In some areas, what you say Somali Oromo, you can't even tell who's who. Especially in Tuluguded area, in Moyal area, people are the same.
However, he notes that there are individuals who have been creating conflict between the two brotherly people for their own benefit.
It's one of the areas where they can wreak havoc. Continuing Oromo-Somali hostilities and conflict benefits so many bad people. And therefore, yes, I share that assessment. To an extent, yes, there are people who want this to continue, people who benefited from it, and people who think that this is a way of coming back to power. So to that extent it's true. But also, that should not also distract us from the fact that there are issues to resolve, where as administrations we may not have done all we can to bring the communities together.
Mustafa underscores that it is mandatory to the governments of the two regions to bring those criminals to justice.
We are doing our part on our side. Oromia has also tried its part, but on both sides there are people who want the conflict to continue. Now the responsibility of identifying those and taking action and ending this rests on our shoulders. So I think we should focus more on that and not on chasing these bad apples on both sides.
He further notes that the issue of Chinaksan and the Moyale need due attention and immediate solution. Mustafa said the two regions have agreed to establish a common committee, being with the Ministry of Peace, to end the conflict.
15 days ago, I met President Lama. We have agreed on a way forward. We have set up a committee led by the Vice Presidents. The Ministry of Peace is also part of this initiative of the federal government. So we have now started to do things, and that's actually improving things here and there. But I think both Oromia is busy. We are also busy on internal matters. But I think there's nothing more pressing than this issue of conflict at the border areas.
The Oromia Supreme Court Consultative and Oromia Bar Association have discussed ways of strengthening the justice system in the region. Olmo Ban has the detail.
The Oromia Supreme Court Consultative and Oromia Bar Association have discussed the ways of strengthening administration of justice and their cooperation. President of the Oromia Supreme Court, Dasa Bulcha, said that still there are limitations of responding for justice and respecting human rights.
When we evaluate delivery performance of our courts and their services, especially in ensuring justice, there are limitations.
Dasa noticed that the revised proclamations to strengthen justice system in the region have also a great role in improving and strengthening justice institutions in the country.
If there is a strong and institutionalized justice system, we can be benefited both at regional and country level. When this is realized, supremacy of law is also realized. Especially building a system that stands for human rights is very important.
It was also said that new structure was established to work on enhancing public awareness in collaboration with Oromia Supreme Court. Head of Awareness Creation and Legal Services Office with the Oromia Supreme Court, Hamsalu Olani, said that their office has been providing free legal services.
Concerning providing legal services and creating awareness of public in this regard, we have done remarkable jobs. For instance, more than 7,000 males and more than 3,000 females have got awareness. Free legal services have also been given for more than 1,000 people.
Prison Fellowship Ethiopia has been working for more than 20 years in collaboration with the Oromia Supreme Court to strengthen justice service of the region. President of Prison Fellowship Ethiopia, Daniel Gabraselassie, said justice system of the region should strengthen the reform of the country.
The Oromia Justice Sector Professionals Training and Legal Research Institute says it is working to implement the International Labour Convention Ethiopia has signed to ensure safety and security in industries. The institute has held relevant discussion with stakeholders here in Adama town. Aklu Gabru explains.
The Oromia Justice Sector Professionals Training and Legal Research Institute has conducted a research that focuses on employers and workers' relationship, specifically in manufacturing industries of the Oromia regional state. The research paper revealed that the International Labour Conventions Ethiopia has signed not been fully implemented. On the event, poor industry workers' organization, absence of minimum wage and safety, and vague agreements between industry workers and employers are listed as limitations identified by the research. The institute has also further awareness-raising training for stakeholders to solve the problems on the legal framework as per the result of the research. Research Director of the Institute, Milky Makre, had to say the following.
We focused on how to solve the problems on table round discussion before changing it to strike.
Some participants of the training said that they will be guided by international conventions that help to create convenient industrial environment.
We've discussed on how to solve problems related to workers' rights and benefits on the basis of international labour conventions Ethiopia signed.
The Oromo Democratic Party, ODP Womens League, has elected Saada Umar as its new chairperson. Saada has briefed the media on the fourth regular conference of the league and vowed to work hard to transform the league. Here is Olmo Bane for the detail.
Saada Osman has been elected chairperson of ODP Womens League. She has briefed the media concerning the fourth regular conference of her league. The newly elected chairperson of Oromo Democratic Party Womens League, Saada Osman, said that ODP Womens League has put directions on how to solve the challenges and sustain strengths. Saada added that ODP Womens League has been working to sustain the change and ensure peace and security of the region. We have been striving to realize the reformation. The role of ODP Womens League in this regard is very significant. So we have a great responsibility in transforming the change started in our country. We have also been working to enhance participation of women in all aspects. Therefore, this conference has also discussed and put directions in the way that they discharge their responsibility, she said. Saada underscored that more than 70% members of ODP Womens League Central Committee are new, adding that it shows the initiation to move with the new reform. Women are not taken to the position because they are women, rather than they are believed to fit the position. There are many women who are highly committed to the work and responsibility. So we have to recognize this. We have to know that there are many more women who deserve more positions, she said. Saada noted that the newly appointed chairperson of the league has a great responsibility to transform the league, as she has been elected to the position, referring to herself. Coming to position has many meanings, and there are a lot of things you have to do when you come to position. It is about taking responsibility. There is, of course, no single responsibility. All leaders should work cooperatively, she said.
Thank you so much for joining us. That's all for now. Have a good time.